Hi, friends. It's Beth here with Aging Care Solutions, offering professional guidance and personal caregiving experience for caregivers, seniors, families, really anybody who's helping a loved one navigate the care journey of life. So, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Um, I just have so many different topics that I want to talk about, and this one, it sort of hit with me because I started thinking about my own friendships over the years and how I've been able to stay in touch with friends from the time I was just a kid. So even though I don't live in my hometown anymore, I feel like I'm close. I still have close connections to some really good friends that I grew up with. I talk to them, throughout the years. One friend I talk to almost every month. And I just feel like, excuse me, the older we get, these friendships wane, and the reason that they do, like when I think about the friends that I had in elementary and middle school and high school, some of them were the same people. So 12 years of Catholic school, so these they all kind of we all kind of followed each other, and then everybody went off to college and my friend group changed, right? I met friends, excuse me, the pollen has been killing me. Met new friends and made new connections. And then of course you get done with schooling. I mean, in in the older generations, they really just got married very young. And so your friendships are were predicated on sports and your kids' friends' parents. And that happened with me too, that when my kids were growing up, there was a lot of birthday parties, a lot of celebrations, a lot of different things, and my friends in the new neighborhood that we moved into really became my my friends, right? So I was so happy that we had moved to a new neighborhood. And this is really weird, but my former husband, we moved when we first got engaged and got married. He didn't know one neighbor, not one. He was like, "Oh, that's the guy that does this, or that's the guy." And I'm like, You've lived here like 15 years. You don't know anybody's name." Before we moved and moved to up to a new community where I reside now, I knew everybody. We had a huge party. We knew who was doing what. We knew who was retiring, who was newly married, having babies. Yeah, it was, I don't know. I just feel like there has to be an effort. And and I always felt like I had no problem kind of connecting with people. Um, but not everybody has that type of personality. Not everybody feels like that they want to strike up a conversation with a complete stranger or say hello to them and introduce themselves. But there's ways that you can do it. And I feel like as we age, it is more challenging. There's no doubt about it, because many times we lose our spouse if we weren't married. Even our friends start to die. My best friend died many years ago, and I've lost a number of friends over the years, and I'm in my early 60s. So it starts to happen, and all of a sudden you turn around and you realize, it's lonely. It can be very lonely to not have, so I mean, I go to the gym and I have made friendships there, and I'm still, raising children, but still, I feel like it's going to be a task depending on where I live, if I stay in the state that I'm in now, to make new friends. But I will tell you, one of the things that I did that a lot of people were like, wow, I never thought about that. But we moved into a new neighborhood and I had these new babies. I had business cards made up. I've always been a professional. I've been in healthcare for more than 20 years. And I was so used to saying, hi, my name is this. Here's my, well, I was like, I'm going to get a business card made up. So I got these cute little polka dotted business cards, and it had my name on it. That I was available for play dates, adult dinners, fit workouts, book club, whatever. And that's how I started a book club that ran for like 6 years. And it was just a great way to meet new neighbors. Most of us that were moving in were brand new, so nobody knew anybody. So it just is such a great, it's a good idea. I mean, you can go to Vistaprint and get very inexpensive. You can get like 50 business cards for $10. So worth it. And you can design it, pick out a cat and put it on there if you love cars, or if you love the beach, a beach with a sunset, that's going to be what it looks like. And it's got your name on it, your cell phone number, your email address. And even at the bottom, or flip it over, and it could say what you're available to do, that you love to play bingo, that you're into hiking. I mean, there's different ways to kind of like, put your preferences right on a little business card and use it as a great way for someone to tack it up on the refrigerator or take all your information and scan it into their cell phone. And they're like, I'm going to call my new friend, Beth. So anyway, it is challenging. I know it is because I saw my former in-laws, a lot of their friends over the years started passing away. And that was their cooking club. That was the people that they had done their gourmet club with for 25 years. Some of them had retired and moved away. But I've also seen people, just visiting people who decide to move to assisted living or senior living because they need to be around, they want to be around people. And you'll even find if you go into an independent senior living community, if it's a 62 and over, it's a great way to make friends. A great way to make friends. And it can be very rewarding. It can be a little bit intimidating at first, but all it takes is one new friend to introduce you to one other friend. And all of a sudden here you've got like a little gal pal or a little guy club. But there's local clubs and groups, I think that can be super helpful and super fun. And I'm telling you that you can have as much fun as you're going to allow yourself to have. If you sit home and just watch TV or walk the halls in your building and you're not connecting with other people, all it takes is visiting a local senior center where they host activities like bingo, yoga, art classes, book clubs, and all of a sudden you're going to feel like, I don't even know what to do. There's so many fun things to do. What should I start with? And if you have a specific skill, like maybe you used to love to garden, but now you're living in a high rise or you're in a community that only allows you to have potted plants on your little patio or your deck. Well, a lot of these senior centers have they have like a garden area where people can grow their own vegetables. Now, those are hard to find. So if you're going to go to a local senior center, make sure that you get on the list, or even share the gardening experience with someone else that's been in there for a bit. And you could tell them, look, can I plant a few tomato plants or whatever? And I'll weed, once a week or twice a week. Of course, there's like chess club. People will you can even create a club. Like say that you were a writer and that was something that you let go over the years. Well, all you got to do is suggest it. And before you know it, there's 6 or 8 people that are showing up and they're like, yeah, we love to write. Let's try to encourage each other. So doing something that you enjoy makes it way easier to bond with other people. I mean, it's kind of, really, when you think about it, if you really love something and you are really passionate about it, somebody else that loves it too is going to be super excited to sit and talk about it. It doesn't really matter what it is that you love to do. I mean, some people love to craft, or some people love to, maybe it's a knitting club or a crocheting club, or I just love the idea of it. The other is joining a group at a faith-based group, like through your church or your community. We have so many things going on at my church. I mean, every single week there's something that you can do. We just finished a 10-week book club on this really prolific Dr. Joe Dispenza. It was something that I'd been wanting to do for a long time, and he just talks about how the energy and our thoughts can really mandate how we live our life, whether we're going to be really happy or whether we're going to let our negative self-talk hold us back. So the other thing is taking classes or workshops. So community colleges offer, adult education, and some of them you can just do, like if you want to engage in person, that's great. I would definitely advise that. But you can take online courses if you're technologically adept at doing that. There's other things like painting classes, photography, even tech skills. One of the senior centers that I love that's not far from me, I used to stop in. Oh my gosh, they have an amazing gym there, really great trainers that can help people who are starting to realize that keeping their strength, their leg strength, and their balance is key. And working out with those trainers has really helped them. But they also have all these classes There was somebody that was teaching them about how to use their cell phone, how to use apps like Uber and DoorDash. So, there's so many different things that either you could run a class or you can be a participant learning about stuff. So, there's also other online, what they call social gatherings. And I've used this one. It's called Meetup, Meetup, Meetup. And what you do is you go in to the meetup.com platform, their website, and you build a profile about yourself, what it is that you're into, what you like to do. So if you love live music and you want to go to concerts, anytime there's a local concert or anything going on, you select the radius of which you'd like to travel. So if you want to stay within just a few counties of where you live, it'll tell you what's going on. What kind of music do you like? If you're into hiking, if you're into whatever it is that you are into, these shared social sites can help facilitate different activities, and all you have to do is show up. And there's virtual events, forums, and different things like that might, if you're unable to do them in person. And also the other thing that a lot of people do, because they're not working anymore, they're like, they do have a lot of time, they can do volunteer work. I mean, when you think about the different places that could really use volunteers, like hospitals, animal shelters, schools, welcome centers at some of these senior centers, libraries, it's kind of endless, the different possibilities. There's so many in this area. Yeah, it's unbelievable. But you just Googling that or finding out from a friend or someone that you're going to meet, or do you have what other areas, what other ways are you keeping yourself busy? And they're going to maybe tell you, oh, I volunteer over at one of the senior communities. There's a blind group that reads to people. Also, they're suggesting that maybe get a pet or join a pet group. That way you've got not only a wonderful companion, someone that, you'll look after, it'll be like a purposeful commitment for you to have a pet, but dog walking groups and pet meetups. So, bringing people together so that their dogs can play. And then also that you have a friend to, communicate with. Obviously attending community events like local fairs, if there's museums or outings, concerts in the park, farmers market. These are all great places to say hello to people and kind of spark up interest. Even striking up conversations while you're waiting in line, especially if you're at like a craft festival. Oh, do you usually come to this craft festival? So it might take a little bit of time, but again, I would encourage you to do what I did, which was have business cards made up. And they can be as funky or cool or reflective of your personality by what you pick out. In fact, I just kind of find that it's a great way to, as an icebreaker, and just say, you know what, I'm new to this area. I just moved into this senior community and I'm looking for friends to work out with or start a walking group. Is that something that might interest you, or do you have anybody in the building that you know of that might be interested? So it is a great way to kind of open the door, if you will, for people to communicate with. But anytime you could be around more people, the energy is always good too. It's more fun, especially if they're doing something that's fun and people are laughing. And this one senior center that keeps coming to mind for me, they have woodworking there. They do all kinds of stuff. I told you the book club is one of the things. Fitness is another thing, but they also have live entertainment there on the regular. So it's so much fun, and it's so inexpensive to join. If you wanted to join the gym, it's like $50 a year. But as a senior, all you have to do is say that all you have to do is show them and sign up. I don't even think they charge for different things that are going on unless there's supplies that are needed. So, but anyway, I hope some of these things are helpful for you. If you're downsizing, I would encourage you. So if you're leaving a home that you are managing, I would encourage you to find a community and shop around a little bit. Don't necessarily just say, oh, this one is close to where I live. Because even if you went a little further, but you found a place that was close to a gym or was close to a senior center, it's going to open up a whole new world of connections or reconnections to people that maybe you knew in the past that maybe had moved there. But don't be afraid to make the first move when it comes to trying to strike up a conversation or create a new friendship. And if you are considering moving, you're not going to be as isolated. So I think if you're home all the time, you certainly should consider joining an outside group at a senior center or a fitness club or someplace where you can connect with a group of people. So I wish you all the best. And I'm in the same boat as you are. My friend groups have changed over the years. A lot of my friends are still married and they're still raising kids. But as I age, I feel I have a sense of more freedom. I'll be an empty nester this year, so I will be doing more traveling, potentially relocating. So I know what it's like to have to make new friends, and so I wish you all the very best. Sending you a big hug and wishing you just loving thoughts on your journey of finding and making new friends. I'll see you at the next video. Take care.